So we have the old worn aftermarket bushings in the control arm bushing mount. We're just going to put in the vise and tighten it up pretty good, and then hit it out.
There you go. Pressed out, easy as pie.
So to put the stock bushings back in, the new bushings, we're gonna compress it in a vise, but we already pushed one in and the threads got, there was a lot of force in the threads. We're using a cheater bar, so we're just gonna apply some grease to the threads here. And then BMW calls out for a special lubricant that sets after 30 minutes for the control arm bushings, but we don't have that lubricant, so we're just going to use white lithium grease and just coat the outside of the bushing with grease, as well as the inside of the control arm mount, control arm bushing mount. And then there's an arrow on the bushing that needs to match up with the nub on the control arm bushing mount. So get it close. And these are symmetric, by the way. So just make sure the arrow on one side is mating up with the nub, and then compress the vise. And you want to get the control arm bushing as close to the thread as possible, so that there's not a large moment arm. And then to get it started, we don't need a cheater bar, but we should probably rotate the control arm mount because it's going in at an angle to start. Grabbing the cheater bar here. And it's not going to go all the way in. There will be about 1/4 inch of the bushing left over. So be ready for that. All right, we're going to pull it out, check to make sure it's pushed all the way through. Bottomed out.
So now we're going to cut down this pipe.
3/4 inch pipe.
It's a 3/4 inch Schedule 80 plumbing pipe. We're going to cut it to length so that once it's cut, it'll fit on the hole in the control arm, and the 2 threaded rods, which will be going through here, end up going through here and here. So I'm going to cut this down, and then we have to drill 2 holes through it, one here and one here for the threaded rod to go through. So we'll be back with you in a minute. Alright, so now we're going to drill the holes for the, well, at least pilot holes to start, and then we'll drill the full-size holes for the threaded rod. So we got the 2 holes drilled through now. The threaded rod will go right through there, we're just filing it down. So the next part, we're going to need to create a puller tool that will actually press these bearings in. So we've got this little plate right here that's going to go against the bushing right there. If you can see that. That'll go right there. That'll just sit right on that. And then we've got these metal rods. We're going to cut them down, stick them through there, one there, and one through here. Those will go to the back into one of these holes in the control arm. So it'll go from over there across to here, and then we've got these Schedule 80 pipes right here. We're going to cut that down. So, and then drill 2 holes in it. One here, one here. That way the threaded rod will go through this puller tool out to the pipe, and then through the pipe with these nuts right here. We'll then be able to tighten the nuts down, and that should, in theory, cause the puller tool to push this piece of metal, that bad boy, right on to the shaft and all the way in. So we're going to cut it up to size and fit it all up to here and bring it back to them.
We're going to lube up the ID of the bushing with white lithium grease and the shaft on the control arm.
Right there.
And then we're going to get our tool installed here. So just thread the nut onto one end, pass it through the control arm. Shit, the sway bar is right in the way. Twist it and pass the other rod through here, below the sway bar. Hitting the exhaust, but should be alright. And now we can get our bushing started by hand. So just make sure that the counterboard parts of the hole are facing upward so they mate with these tubes. Just get it started as much as you can. And then we have a modified steel plate here that just has, you could use a solid metal plate, but we have a welded washer that will keep this puller centered. So use the little flange upward because we're limited on space. Alright, and then we're going to lube this thread on the puller. So it doesn't gall up or get cross-threaded. And then same thing with the all thread. It's going to lube it up a little. And then putting a washer on and a nut. And these can just be finger tight. We'll actually apply torque to the puller's thread So this tool from AutoZone we just loaned. Basically, it's a front wheel hub puller, but it's a 19mm socket. So just start threading it. Keep everything centered. So our washer bottomed out when we were using the center pusher, so we switched over to the same thick square washer type plate from Home Depot, but there's no welded washer in the middle. So the control arm shaft is just gonna push right through, and you can kind of see it coming through there now on the puller side, pusher side.
Yep.
Alright, that's it. So now we're gonna install these bolts. We're just gonna put some anti-seize on here, so we don't have to deal with the rust. And these heads are 17mm. Now we're gonna torque this to 30 foot-pounds. There we go. That's it.